One amazing thing I found out at work is a lot of times the things we keep quiet about because they don't affect us directly, because it's not being done to us, it's being done to a colleague. They just have a way of affecting us eventually. Because that same thing was done to someone and everybody kept silent. Nobody stood up saying, no, it's wrong. You can't treat somebody else this way. And so tomorrow when it's been done to you, you're like, you should not be shocked. They got away with it the first time doing it to somebody else. So they'll do the same thing to you. Hello, my beautiful YouTube family. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Workplace Dynamics with me, Yo Mary. I hope you've been good. I hope that work is gradually becoming easier for you, or that workplace environment has been improving. You know how close the issue of workplace dynamics is to my heart. If you're new here, my name is Radmos, and I come here on Sundays like this to talk about workplace dynamics. When I say workplace dynamics, I'm talking about the many different issues at work that cause people emotional stress, such that it begins to affect their output and emotional well-being and all of that. So I was just saying that the issue of workplace dynamics is really close to my heart, based on the fact that I've worked in different places, different environments, and I've seen how this can really take a toll on people and their lives and all of that. So it means a lot to me, and I can only hope that every single thing you learn right here on my channel, that's for you who's been watching from time to time now, you're putting it into practice, you're applying these principles from my own experiences, you're applying them at work, and they're really just giving you positive results. That's when all of this would have been really, really worth it. Okay, so let's dive into what we have for today. Okay, so once again, if you're new here, you should subscribe to my channel, because there's a whole lot that we're going to be learning together. If the concept or the subject of workplace dynamics interests you, this is something you don't want to be missing at all. Okay, you should also like and share to the many others who you know will benefit from this video and my many others. Now, today we're going to be looking at something I titled "Silence is Only Golden Until It Is Not." And this is from my book 21 Days of Worth. If you've not checked that out, you absolutely should check. It's very affordable. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below for you so that you can check it out. You remember our very first episode, I mentioned that I will be drawing lessons from that book, and this is one of such lessons. In one of those chapters from 21 Days of Worth, I put down that silence is only golden until it is not. And I was talking generally in other many different aspects of life, but this time around, I'm going to be relating it specifically to the workplace environment. Thank God we've talked about many different areas, the times when you are the problem, the times when the other person is the problem, and things like that. But now we're going to be talking about your silence, how it can affect you, affect others around you. And of course, when I say silence, what am I talking about? Those times where something happens and you just decide to shush it. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to contribute. Someone's going to see you as a bad person. Someone's going to say this. Your boss is going to react that way. There's times where things happen and you're not exactly comfortable with it and you're not saying anything. That's the kind of silence I'm talking about. So that kind of silence is only golden until it is not. So I'm going to be talking about some areas where you should not keep silent at work. Now, the very first area is, of course, you. When whatever is happening affects you directly, there is a policy being made, and you know that it's not going to work for you. Somebody takes a decision that affects you in a way that is not what's the word, friendly, palatable, whatever the word you want to use there, or somebody did something to you, that boss spoke to you in some kind of way, that colleague spoke to you in a derogatory manner, really just anything at all that affects you directly at work. There's times where, of course, you can endure. Of course, we talk about how we should tolerate people at work and all of that. But if it's something that's been happening constantly, then that silence is no longer golden. It's time for you to open your mouth and complain. It's time for you to open your mouth and say, no, this time around, I'm not going to take this kind of crap. It's not okay for me. It's not working for me. It's not having a positive impact on me. So when things affect you directly, when you are the one who's affected directly, you need to speak up about things like that. Okay. Now, another time when you should speak up is when something similar is being done to a colleague. You know, one amazing thing I found out at work is a lot of times the things we keep quiet about because they don't affect us directly, because it's not being done to us, it's being done to a colleague. They just have a way of affecting us eventually. Because that same thing was done to someone and everybody kept silent. Nobody stood up saying, no, it's wrong. You can't treat somebody else this way. And so tomorrow when it's been done to you, you're like, they should not be shocked. They got away with it the first time doing it to somebody else. So they'll do the same thing to you. So when somebody else is being treated the wrong way, when something is being done to someone who doesn't deserve it, somebody's been treated unlawfully, you can step forward and speak as a colleague. And I know how this might sound or how this might come off, because I know that some of us then begin to be treated some kind of way at work because we voiced out our opinion, because we fought for somebody who couldn't speak for themselves or something. I understand, but I'm just saying I need you to look at the bigger future, bigger picture, sorry. I need you to look at the future when that same thing that's been done to that person could be done to you as well. So you need to speak up in the face of injustice to another person so it doesn't come back to you at the end of the day. And also, finally, you should speak up when somebody beneath you is being treated the wrong way. Those people who are the cleaners, the we also call them janitors, the people who handle the gardeners, the drivers, and all the people that are kind of like lower than your own what's it called position at work. You should speak up when those people are being treated unfairly. Some of them are treated unfairly by your colleagues, by your bosses, and all of that. You should not keep silent. The fact that we're at work doesn't mean that we should be traumatized because we're really just trying to work to earn a living and all of that. So you need to speak to those people, because surprisingly, despite the fact that they are not your colleague, whoever did that to them and got away with it might try that same thing with you tomorrow. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. But of course, that's not the only reason you should voice out, okay? So these are three different areas where you cannot afford to keep silent at work: when it's you who's affected directly, when it's a colleague, and of course when it's somebody beneath you. I can't exactly talk about when it's your boss that's been treated unfairly, because you might not exactly have the kind of access to whoever can influence that sort of decision or occurrence and stuff. So I'm also going to be mentioning a few ways that you can actually not keep silent. One of the things you can do is talk to HR. And I know what you're going to say. Most times HR is on the side of the employer, they are biased and all that. But most times when you've been doing this over and over again, you make your complaint, they will have no choice but to look into it. Another thing that can help with HR is when you have these discussions with other people. We are stronger when there's more of us, most times. That's the truth. So you want something to be nipped in the bud, or you want something to be handled, you're tired of being treated some kind of way. Sometimes you need to have other people who agree with you as well. So that's another way to not keep silent at work. Also, you need to be able to step forward for people. That's another way. Somebody does something to a cleaner beside you. Maybe they talk to them in a manner that's rude, only because they're they're working there as a cleaner, not because that person deserves that or stuff like that. In some cases, the person who is the cleaner or the janitor is even way older than that other employee that's treating them like crap. So you can step forward, talk to that person. I'm not saying attack them right there on the spot. Of course, you don't want to do that. You can also raise some kind of disrespect for them tomorrow. Not to mention that they're not even going to listen to you in that point in time, because it looks like you're trying to bring them down or discredit them. You can call that colleague aside and just tell them, oh, what you did to that fellow is not good. Maybe next time you can try this, you can try that, in a manner that's not rude and is also not making them feel bad. Okay, so these are just different ways that you can speak out. You can even drop letters on your colleague's desk. Some offices have things called suggestion boxes. Some of you have access to your boss's contacts and stuff like that. So here are just many different ways. And I'm going to say this honestly because I know I've been there. It's not always going to be pretty. So if you decide this time around you're not going to choose silence, whether it affects you, affects somebody else at work, be ready for what may come from that. Please be ready. It's not always going to be pretty, but I want you to always see the end result. For example, the time I said you're trying to what's the word, stop something bad or stop injustice so that it's not done to you. You want to remember that as well. So don't just think now, don't just think the present circumstances. You want to think about the nearest future. You want to think about when it's you that's involved. Okay, so This is quite long already. I was hoping it wasn't going to be this long because I know my YouTube viewers and all that you don't like. But anyway, that's that about that for today, guys. So always remember, silence is only golden until it is not. When it's being done over and over again and you're keeping quiet, that's already a problem. So know when to stop being quiet, okay? So that you're not treated in a way that's affecting you emotionally and traumatizing you, and you're really just there and you're keeping quiet because you don't know how others are gonna take it. So that's all about that for today, and I'll be looking forward to your comments and really just want to know how you've been doing at work and whether you're going to be applying this principle and maybe you applied it and it works out for you. That's something that I'm definitely going to want to know. So please feel free to drop comments for me in the comment section. That's that about that. If you're still not following me, please do. If you have still not subscribed to my channel, please do so that you don't miss out on the things that you should not be missing. So that's not about that. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mary Badmus, and until I come your way again, it's like come your way again. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.